All right, so making things simple. We're going to talk about the snowball method. I'll have my PDF on the screen. Don't worry, you'll have a downloadable copy in the section below.
But before we get into all of that, like this video, share this video, and follow for more content. Let's get it, y'all.
So we're going to talk about how the snowball method works. This is my favorite method to go by. Well, actually, it's my second favorite method now. But the snowball method is a debt reducing method that takes all of your debts. You pay the smallest debt off first. You make your minimum dues for everything, but you're continuously putting as much money as you can into your smallest debt until that debt is gone, and then rinse repeating until all the debts are gone. So if you notice here, it says my step one is list your debts from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate. So interest rate in this situation don't matter right now. You're gonna make the minimum due, your minimum payment on all the debts except the smallest one. That's the one that you're going to put as much money as possible on. Remember, I said we're cutting out the wants and putting all that money into this credit card debt. Then you're going to rinse repeat until it's all paid in full. I have a little disclaimer, so I know people are going to argue with me about the interest rates, but the reason why we're not going to care about interest rates is because of the amount of debt. This is specific to the snowball method. Let's just say you have a smaller debt with a smaller interest rate, and then you have a higher debt with a higher interest rate. The higher debt is, yes, it's going to accrue more interest, but we are getting rid of debts a lot faster. Now that we don't have these debts because we're popping them off as fast, we can then take more money into the higher debts to pay those off faster. Like a snowball. You build a snowball, you push it down the hill, it starts off really small, but by the time it gets down to the very bottom of the hill, it's huge. It's collected all the other snow and got, really, really big, right? Let's go to the next one. So why does the snowball method work? So the snowball method works. Remember, the step prior to this was expectation. It's about changing your behavior. You have to understand, if you can stop spending money on things that you don't truly need and put them all into these debts, you can pay these debts off. It's a very slow process, but it works. Let's say if you have an extra $250 to $500 laying around and you're going to spend it on miscellaneous things. Instead, you want to take that whole $250 to $500, put it on your smallest debt. After a month or so, that debt is gone, maybe even shorter. Now, whatever you were paying toward that, plus the extra $250 to $500, you're now going to pay that toward the next debt. Rinse, repeat until they're all gone. It's a very winning behavior because now you're training yourself to not spend so much unnecessarily and to put the money to where it truly needs to go. It's a mindset change. So we got to get in that mindset change, and that's how it works. Winning with money is 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge. If you can get the person in the mirror to change their habits, there's nothing stopping you. You guys know my saying. The only person that can stop you is you. No excuses. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys an example, just in case you're a person like me, you need to see it. I didn't have my whiteboard up, so I had to make this PDF. Let's just say you have 4 different types of debt. Some people may have less, some people may have way more. But we're going to give you an example so you can get a better idea on how to actually break this down. We have a $500 medical bill, $2,500 in credit card debt, or one credit card debt, $7,000 car loan, and a student loan of $10,000. So using the snowball method, you're going to make the minimum payments on all the debts except for the $500 medical bill. Because the $500 medical bill is the smallest, notice that, $10,000, $7,000, $2,500, and $500. Because the $500 medical bill is the smallest, we're going to make the $63 payment, the $135, the $96, and then whatever extra money we have. Don't just pay the $50, all the extra money we have. Because remember, if we have $200 to $500 extra, why not pay this medical bill off? You with me? So let's just say we got an extra $500 a month, right? We're going to pay this medical bill off. We're not just going to stick to the minimum dues and keep the high interest rates. We're paying this off. We're not going out and having fun. We're paying this off. Boom. Now what we are left with are the credit card debts, the car loan and the student loans. that $50 that we were making every month to that medical bill now automatically gets added to the next lowest bill. So what you should be paying is $113 toward the credit card payment. That's the minimum to you now, because the money we were using, now we're helping pay another debt off. But again, we had that extra $500. So where it's 113, I'm sorry if you guys are mathematicians, $113 now goes toward this, plus that extra $500 that we're not needlessly spending. That is $613 toward this debt. You know, we're still making the minimums on the car, still making the minimums on the student loan, but guess what? 613, if you divide 2,500 by 613, that's a little over 4 months. So let's just say 5 months. Within the next 5 months, you now have paid off your medical bill and you've paid off all your credit card debt. We're just going to rinse, repeat. Now we have the car loan and the student loan. Since the car loan was the next lowest, remember, we're taking the 50 and the 63 that we were already paying a month and paying that toward the car loan plus the 135. So you have 135 plus 113. I am not a super mathematician. 140. So 248. So now, instead of making a car payment of $135, you're now making $248. You know, and these are just my examples. If you guys just have credit cards, and do it the same way. Lay out all your credit cards, figure out how much is owed on each credit card, and do it that way. I'm just giving you guys examples. But this, now we're paying $248 plus $500, so now we're paying $748 toward this car. That is going to take less than 10 months. So within the next year, this so far our make-believe timetable has been about a year and a half. Within a year and a half, we have now paid off our medical bill, all of our credit card debt, and have paid off our car, while simultaneously still paying the $96 a month for the student loan. Remember, we've always been paying that. We haven't stopped. But now that all that's done, and now we just have the student loan debt. All of our debt is gone. Just got the student loan debt. With quick math, we knocked off about $1,000. We knocked off about $1,000 of the student loan debt because it's been a year and a half. So let's just say it's $9K. The $9,000, right? We're now having $248. I have the math down here. I was trying not to look, but we have $248 plus 96. Let's just do some rough math. That's $350. Might be less. Don't have a calculator, but let's say you got $350. Instead of paying $96 a month, you're now able to pay $850. Remember, I got $800. I got the extra $5, so $850 a month toward that. Within another year, you have now paid off all of your debt. Remember, I told you guys, it is going to be a slow process. This example I gave you, we took $20,000 in debt, $20,000 of debt, and paid it off within a little over 2 years, 27 months. Remember, I told you it's not going to be overnight. The example I gave was only $500. You may or may not have $1,500. You may have $1,000 extra. You may have $1,700 extra. Your income and your expenses are totally up to you, but you need to lay out all of your debts in order from minimum to maximum. Figure out all your necessities. Calculate your income to know how much extra money you can spend toward these debts. Once you get that number, I promise you, it's gonna lay it out just like this, and you're gonna be able to pay these things back in no time. So this was the Snowball Method. I'm gonna get to the Avalanche Method next, and we're gonna show you how that works.